the three of them came on from like DeKalb Avenue or J Street. You know, sitting over there. You know, so I think they're hired provocateurs that believe they can make money from taunting me. The U.S. immigration is giving people my information, surveillance information. You know, I came from this spring call. You know, trying to provoke me. Homeless person. You know, these two homeless people. These two homeless people. You know, I don't think you heard them. You know, this guy appears very clean. It doesn't stink. You know, I'm even much dirty appearing because women need to shower or whatever. But it was clearly exaggerated. So they were saying me and him stink. I don't know him, but it's very clean. It doesn't stink. So they're hiring black Americans to the line, and they said these two niggers stink. They look like it might be an immigrant. I don't know. You know, and I don't think he heard them. You know, and it's very clean. They may even have a place to stay. They even have a place to shower. So they're clearly lying. This is the Eric Adams gang, and they were saying they're from Brownsville, but they live in Staten Island now. You know, so the head of the MTA is a black American also, and they're using black Americans to attack immigrants. They said they just killed a Mexican immigrant. So they are harassing us immigrants in the United States. My mother's daughters were moving the black American gang. One of them was a U.S. soldier married in Florida. My mother's daughter Flora was married to a U.S. soldier, and they loved my mother to come to Pennsylvania. Said the U.S. soldier was beating her in there. You know, so this guy's not even dirty at all. So these are liars, black Americans lying, saying every immigrant's thing. He's very clean looking. He smells nice. Even the train smells nice. And you know, you know, they can lie on me, but I don't even. I'm not even that stinky, you know, because I use a special soap to try to clean myself quickly when I'm in the bathroom. I don't naked myself. So you know, I buy soap for like $10. So they're making a price. Extort, you know. So this is the soap I use. It's $10. You know, it's a bleaching soap. I like to bleach my skin. So they're lying for extortion purposes, and they say any lawsuit money I win in the future, they're going to steal it. I'm going to claim, you know, and they're going to lie that they suffered alongside me. So this MTA is being hijacked by black Americans. The president is Dimitris Krishlo. I've reached out to him and he wouldn't help me. He plays games, but I see him on the street. You know, he comes around me, you know, to stalk me in front of the 2 Broadway headquarters upstairs. And I try to speak to him, and I said, can I get your email? And I'll email him, and he comes to a response to my email, and he will respond. Then he'll come around me again, you know, and he'll say, you know, and try to email him again, I'll email him respond. I said, I'm being attacked in subway service. I'm supposed to be put in a special shelter for people removed from basement apartment. The New York State Department of Housing, Preservation, and Building Shelter. The other shelters they have are very dangerous. They're filled with former prisoners. This one's like just came out of prison also. They were using the word nigger, and they were using the word God, you know. So they say they're going to kill me, and they're going to say, you know, I'm part of a religious cult. So these Eric Adams are now shouting. They have a church, they form, and they think they're going to use the church to extort people. This guy is sleeping, you know, and it's very clean. He's very clean. I can't help but report him again. So they are liars, and these black Americans are inciting racist attacks against people that are immigrants, whether from Africa or Spanish, and they say the U.S. immigration killed the Mexican, and the Mexican president is angry. So please, the Mexican president, I forgot your name, you know, please, they're abusing us immigrants in America under this Trump, since it's quite Africa shithole, and quite Mexicans, drug pushers. It is inciting members of the public to attack us immigrants. Please, so you say you're interested in fighting for justice for your citizens being killed in America. So please, Mexican president can't get a lawyer. If you can find a lawyer to subpoena the MTA record, to you know, the camera record, they have a spy camera. You know, this out train came from Bay Ridge. you know, and those black Americans, you know, came from the other car to where I'm at. And I said, these two niggas stink. These two niggas, and the other guy is very clean. Me, I can't even say for myself. I've been homeless for 16 years. I do wash myself. You know, so, and they came from this train car. They came from this train car, you know, and they were saying, you know, and they said these niggas need to go to the shelter. You know, this guy may also be African. I don't know. You know, and they came from this train car. Hello? You know, I don't think we will hear me. So they came from this train car, you know, and one of them even said, let's go to another train car. He said, no, we only have 2 train stops left. Let's endure the smell. You know, and they were saying, God, this nigga stink. These 2 niggas stink. You know, they were referring to me as a Spanish guy. I don't know if he's from Mexico. I don't know, maybe even be a Puerto Rican American. You know, so I started as an immigrant, and they said they're going to still. I'm trying to sue the U.S. immigration for arresting me as a child. Please turn to my cash app. NYC homeless, non-conditional child prevention. Go to my cash app. The cash app is not letting me withdraw my money. I'm trying to sue them. People have sent me $11 so far. You know, that's what I've gotten. You know, but the cash app is not letting me withdraw my money. It's not accepting my bank card. So you can also use real money transfer service. You know.